Boogie Fland, former Arkansas Razorback, played 1 year for John Calipari, entered the draft, but has now withdrawn. He's going to be in the transfer portal and is on a visit to the University of Florida right now. Mike Miller, of course, is his agent, and I don't know the number exactly, but this is an indication of the type of money that's getting thrown around right now. Florida wins the national championship. They lose their backcourt, Walter Clayton Jr. They need guards. Suddenly, Boogie Fland's available. Upwards of $4 million is what I'm being told he might get to play at the University of Florida. So this is a perfect example of what we've been talking about. In a different era of the sport, a Boogie Fland just enters the NBA draft. In fact, when he got injured early in the season and it felt like his college career was probably over, or at least his season was over, all indications were, well, now he'll just enter the draft and get picked wherever he's picked, but his college career's done. This is the way you do it. Well, then somebody steps in and says, hey, you can do that, and you'll probably get picked 33rd, 43rd, whatever. You'll get a contract. But what if Florida just gave you $4 million to come play in the SEC, and you could then take that, have an incredible sophomore season, maybe win a national championship, and then enter the draft and be the 23rd pick instead of the 33rd, 44th? You want to try that?
Yes.
Yes. That's more interesting to these guys now. So I was on radio in Portland earlier, and we talking about some of this stuff, and this is where NIL is good for college basketball. I know that some fans don't like the transactional nature of everything, and I get that. I'm not dismissive of that. Like if you're somebody who's like, I don't like these guys just changing schools for money all the time. I understand. I don't love this either. You know, I like my kids going, there's this incredible high school. I'm dating. It would be me, not my kids. But I like thinking there's this incredible high school player from Memphis named Elliot Perry, and now he's going to play for the Tigers, and he's going to play for the Tigers for 4 years. He's not going to play for the Tigers for 1 year, see how much money's out there, and then go play for Florida. So I don't like all this bouncing around either. But I like it better than I like the alternative, which is young people not making the money they deserve. Mm-hmm. And so I don't begrudge Boogie Fland for doing what he's doing or even hate the system. What I like more than anything is that NIL's keeping people in school. Maybe not at the same school, but it is keeping recognizable and talented college basketball players in school longer than they otherwise would be. I do not think this is a coincidence. You probably heard this last April. Final Four was set, and the 4 teams at the Final Four literally rated as 4 of the best 10 teams in the entire Ken Palm era, dating back to the late 90s. I hope people understand what that means. Take 1999, 2000, 2001, every season going through this season. Take every college basketball team that has ever existed in that time. 4 of the best 10 were playing college basketball this past season. You want to know why? At least I think why. Because you have more good players in college than ever, and you have coaches with the ability to plug holes with 22-year-olds instead of 18-year-olds. Mm-hmm. A different era of college basketball, Florida wins a national championship, loses its backcourt. Todd Golden has to try to replace Walter Clayton with a couple of high school players or guys off of his bench. You know who he's replacing them with now? Xavier Lee, all-conference guard from Princeton, and perhaps Boogie Fland, a McDonald's All-American from Arkansas. Not high school players. Yeah. You're replacing people you lost with older, better, more talented individuals. By extension, you end up with a better team. Mm-hmm. You get better teams, you get better basketball. That's what we're doing right now in college basketball. So I know it's frustrating, but we have more good players than we have had in a while coming back to school, and Boogie Fland's a great example of that.
The Gary Parrish Show, live weekdays at 10 a.m.